things that happened, and it's not clear if President Biden did this by happenstance or calculation, since he called Putin a war criminal. So, Mr. Ambassador, however and whatever the circumstances Biden said it, it was after a signing of the Violence Against Women Act. He said it, and it seems a profound assessment, but what does it really change in the short term, and what does it mean in the long term?
Secretary of State Blinken repeated the assessment today. So if it was accidental, it's definitely now the official line. I don't think it was accidental. And the reality is it won't change many things in the beginning, in the immediate term. It does put Putin on notice that someone will be held accountable for what are crimes of war. These are war crimes that are being committed. The WHO, the World Health Organization, has just announced that 47 hospitals have been bombed. That's 47 war crimes individually. Those hospitals are full of people who need water, electricity, and medical care that is now denied to them. We saw this horrific pictures of the maternity hospital being bombed in Mariupol. We've seen the most horrendous pictures. This is not war where military is fighting against military to take territory. This is a siege, sort of a Middle East or a Middle Age siege mentality in which a city is deprived of food, water, electricity, in which humanitarian corridors are being bombed so that people cannot and will not flee, in which shelters are being bombed deliberately, as happened again in Mariupol with the bombing of the theater, where everyone knew women and children were being left. And so calling a spade, calling Vladimir Putin a war criminal is just a fact on the ground. I think the U.S. has also made the assessment, frankly, that and the intelligence community testified to this on Capitol Hill last week. Bill Burns, the CIA director, and Avro Haines, the director of national intelligence, that Putin is going to double down. That he is not he's not looking for a way out. He's not looking for off ramps. He's not looking for a diplomatic solution that allows him to escape back to a way before. He believes that this war is fundamental to the future, if not of Russia, at least of his own. And so that's what we're seeing.
So if taking a diplomatic resolution to this is off the table, then is it only a matter of is it sanctions? Are there two options? Is route one sanctions work, or somehow there's a military victory? And if there is, by the way, how would we define victory? Just Russia stopping where they are, or pushing the Russian forces back to the Russian border?
So I think Vladimir Putin is not going to settle for anything less than ensuring that Moscow has control over Ukraine, or at least large swaths of Ukraine, including a new government. I mean, he's made that very clear. That's what he's about. He's not going to change. His psychology doesn't allow for somebody to say, I made the mistake, I'm going back. So how does this end? One way it might end is through just a stalemate, a military stalemate, in which he doesn't achieve what he wants to achieve, and we will have a long war of attrition that at some point just people are exhausted, and it ends that way. By the way, that war is still going on in Syria, just so it's not like you need a diplomatic end. It's been going on in Syria now for 11 years. And in other places too, and it could in this part of the world as well. The second, I think, more likely possibility is that the pain that is being inflicted on Russian forces inside Ukraine, on the Russian economy through the sanctions regime that has been established over time, will lead to internal questioning inside Russia about the wisdom of this course, whether that internal questioning comes from the security services and some of the leaders around Vladimir Putin and lead them to take matters in their own hand, or it comes from the street, where large-scale demonstrations might emerge, not next week, not next month perhaps, but down the road as the sanctions really bite, and the security forces, who of course are going to be suffering under the same sanctions, deciding that they're not going to shoot their people. By the way, this is what happened in 1991 when there were a significant uprising against Boris Yeltsin, and there was a refusal by the Russian security forces then to shoot at the people. As you remember, there was the tank shooting at the Russian White House in support of the People's Revolution. So that's how this may well end, rather than a negotiation between Vladimir Putin and President Zelensky.